between the 49ers and the Bengals, but it was a game of high stakes late last night for one Bengal. Stanley Wilson suspended for this game, his third suspension, I should say, for this drug abuse that has plagued his life for so many years. Stanley not allowed to play in today's game. Sam White talked more about after the game, not so much the fact that Stanley couldn't play or NFL drug policy. Sam was more upset about what Stanley was doing to his life. In fact, I got to tell you, Sam was pretty worked up about it.
The tragedy with Stanley Wilson is not in a football sense. There's a precious life that was lost last night to something that I heard George Bush say he was going to purge this country of. And I plead with our president to do that. Because Stanley Wilson didn't screw up. The cocaine overtook him. And I don't know what our country is going to hell in a handbasket, and we don't even know it.
Joining us live is Bengal Chris Collinsworth. When did the team actually find out about Stanley not being able to play?
Last night. It was a pretty tough time for all of us. Not because of the football game. This game's important, but let's face it, it's not that important. Stanley Wilson had just told the nation and the world, 130 million people, that he's a drug addict now. And Sam came in last night, and he had tears in his eyes because he has a lot invested in Stanley, and then Jim Anderson, the running back coach, too, and he said, Stanley's had a relapse, and no one really knew exactly the details of what happened. We still don't, but obviously he couldn't handle it, and it's scary. It really is to think that someone as tough as Stanley Wilson, if he can't lick that stuff, then a mere person out there is not going to be able to either. So
there's a story making the rounds, and I don't know whether you know it, any details about that Stanley's missing at this point. Does the team, the doctors, do they know where Stanley is? Do you know?
My understanding was that they brought him back to the hotel after the incident last night, and somehow he went down a fire escape or did something like that. So I don't know that they've seen or heard from him since then. And hopefully Stanley will go out there and take care of himself, because that stuff can cause some pretty weird things to happen to your mind. We just hope he's okay.
Now to the game. The offense today ran into what I think is probably one of the better defenses you've seen this year. Certainly one of the top 2 or 3 in the league. A lot of trouble, not so much moving the ball, but moving the ball in critical situations.
Yeah, we did. Anytime we don't score a touchdown offensively, we're going to have problems. But you have to give the San Francisco 49ers credit. They're a great football team. They're a great defense. You talk about Jerry Rice, you talk about Joe Montana, and that's who gets the headlines. But their defense is what one of them was.
Was it the coverage that they had today seemed to be zone? That's their big thing. They don't actually get right up in your face and whack you around. That seemed to be a problem for Boomer today.
We had some opportunities to complete some passes down the field. We really did, and just missed on a couple of them. But they made the big plays all day long, and especially that last drive. I mean, that was vintage Joe Montana and Jerry Rice now. I guess they're both in the same category. They're going to have to build a separate shrine for Joe Montana. The Hall of Fame is not going to be enough. I've never seen a guy that absolutely wins every time he's in that situation. It's unbelievable.
One personal question.
Wait, you're shaking my hand here. Okay, now you can.
We haven't seen you in your last Bengal game, have we?
I hope not. My knee's a little sore right now. I banged up a little bit on that one pass today, but provided that comes back and I'm healthy again, I'd like to come back and play. Of course, Mike Brown has something to say with that. It's my contract there. But hopefully I get to play some more.
And you're off to see Tim Crum right now in the hospital?
Yeah, we're going to go see Tim. We're all heartbroken over that. Not because he missed the football game, but because we know just how much it means to him.
Chris, thank you.
Good buddy.
We'll have more sports coming up on Sports Extra in what will seem like milliseconds.
And in less than a millisecond, we'll be back, because right now we're going back to Clyde and Victoria.
All right, Jerry, thanks a lot.
Thanks. We'll be back with a final word in just a moment.